Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, economy, and development in Nigeria and around the world. The government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is in panic because Nigerians are linking the stampede deaths that has occurred at the run-up to the Christmas to the economic reforms or so-called economic reforms of his administration. Now, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has come out to say, no, don't link the death stampede or death from the stampede to our economic reform. It has nothing to do with it. But Mr. Minister, sorry to disappoint you. Nigerians have good ground to link it to your so-called economic reforms. And Nigerians are not alone. All you have to do is to go and look at the report that had been written about Tinubu's so-called economic reform that was written by the New York Times and the Financial Times of London. They were clear that Nigeria is facing economic crisis of generational proportion. You can go and read that report. The minister can go and read that report, or any of his aides to go and read that report by the New York Times that chronicled the hardship, the economic meltdown in Nigeria that was caused by the reform. And the Financial Times and the New York Times, they all identify two reasons why Nigeria is in the economic dire strait. They call it fuel subsidy removal and the flotation of the naira. These were the two policies that has put Nigeria in this economic quagmire, which has impoverished over 70% of the Nigerian population and wipe away whatever is remaining of the middle class. As a result, even those who don't need rice aid are now struggling with those who need it most. And when the organizers of such handouts or palliatives could not manage the crowd, what you get are stampedes. This government of the All Progressive Congress has elevated palliative sharing as an act of governance. They were the ones that popularized palliative. We never had it in the lexicon of Nigerian English language, palliative. It was the APC administration that started it from Muhammad Buhari administration, and it had been taken to a new height under Tinubu administration, especially when Tinubu did the unthinkable by removing the fuel subsidy without proper planning and then floating the naira against international currencies. That today, Nigeria's naira is one of the worst performing currencies in the world. In Africa, it's one of the worst performing too. So anybody who think that this stampede, this struggle for handout, for a bag of rice, for a plate of rice, has nothing to do with the economic reforms that have been pushed by the Tinubu government, don't really know how to analyze what is going on. and what is unfolding before our eyes. Let me break it down to the government. When they came in 2023, as bad as Buhari administration was, a liter of fuel was selling less than 200 naira. As bad as Buhari was, the naira to the dollar in the black market was 750 naira. 700 to 750 naira to the dollar. At the I&E window, the official window, it was 400 naira to the dollar. Today we are talking about naira to the dollar in the range of 1,700, 1,800, 1,600. And Nigeria is an import-dependent nation. And you say you don't know that the reforms embarked on your government is the reason why we have this stampede. Because if the average Nigerian home could afford a bag of rice, it would have been left for destitute and those most vulnerable to go and look for food when they say they are sharing palliative. But now you have a situation where even those who are working consider themselves vulnerable. They are ready to do anything to lay their hands on a bag of rice. Those who are paid 70,000 naira minimum wage, which was reluctantly agreed by Tinubu administration, which was a fallout from his reform program. That 70,000 naira minimum wage is less than 30,000 naira minimum wage of 2 years ago. In real money terms, 70,000 naira is less than 30,000 naira that was paid under Buhari. That's how tragic the situation is. And that's how you cannot extricate the reforms of Tinubu to what is the tragic situations happening in Nigeria, including the stampede. That those who are working cannot afford a bag of rice. It's a clear indication that you cannot extricate the reforms from the tragedy that is happening in Nigeria today. That is true. You have a situation where the rate of insecurity in the country has escalated. People are being kidnapped. People are being killed. The latest report by National Bureau of Statistics showed clearly the tragic situation in Nigeria. This is because several Nigerians are being killed. Many of them farmers. They cannot go to their farms. Bandits are controlling large swath of land in northeast, northwest, north central. These are the food basket belt of Nigeria, being terrorized by bandits. So we can't even produce enough food to eat. So when you hear that they are sharing food, people are bound to pay attention. Even those who have small food in the house would like to go and collect more because they don't know what they will do when the ones in the home runs out. That's the truth. So the government is being disingenuous by saying that they should not link their policies to the stampede. No. You have to link the government policies. The government cannot extricate itself from it. You know that Nigeria is an import-dependent nation and you started floating the naira. You ought to have known that there will be consequences. Muhammad Buhari floated the naira for about a month or two under MFLN, and they saw that was a red line, and they backpedaled. In the subsequent years, when the IMF and World Bank was pushing the then governor of Central Bank, MFLN, to float the naira, MFLN said Nigeria will never float the naira. But President Bola Ahmed Tinubu tried to study why Buhari tried flotation of the naira. I will put a link on this video so that people will know that I'm telling the truth, that Buhari had floated the naira. What Tinubu did is not rocket science, but Buhari floated the naira and discovered that it will hurt the country, and he withdrew from it. But President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is moving ahead with it despite the consequences. And part of the consequences is the high cost of imported goods, including foods. That is the truth. High cost of imported food. The food imported is expensive. At home, we cannot grow food because of insecurity. So who do you think should be blamed? Are we to blame President Biden? Are we to blame who? The incoming president of America, Donald Trump? Who are we to blame for the present state of the economy, whereby even those who are working are no different from those who are not working, thereby taking vulnerability to a new high? Because when they now talk about that, those who are vulnerable should come out. If it's in a church, almost this whole church will be empty. The seats will be empty because everybody is vulnerable. Who caused that vulnerability? And they're also proud of what they are doing. Only recently, the president himself said that Nigerians are living fake life before, that now is when we are living our real life. And he hinted on this same reform. He said the reform has exposed our real life. So the real life of Nigerians are life of scarcity, life of want, life of suffering. That's the real life of Nigerians. And the minister don't want Nigerian people to link the stampede, the death stampede, or the deaths from the stampede. They don't want it to be linked to their economic reforms. But that's not going to happen. People will continue to link it. And they are not alone. The rest of the world who had read that report on the Tinubu's reform in the New York Times and the Financial Times will continue to link it. They said it, and it is not in dispute, that Nigeria is facing economic crisis of generational proportion. And when you have economic crisis of generational proportion, it has to be the government of the day that should be held accountable and responsible. And I can tell you for free, if it was when Tinubu was in the opposition, he will link it to the government in power. That's how honest Tinubu used to be when he was in the opposition. There is no way he would not have linked it straight to the PDP government. So it is therefore disingenuous for his government to say nobody should link this to his administration. I don't think anybody pays attention to that. But the issue is, what lessons have Nigerians learned from it? Are they going to use this tragedy, this suffering? Because the president has said that we are now living our real lives. that the life we are living before, when we used to have Christmas with plenty of rice, they were fake lives. Now that we are living in a Christmas with scarcity of rice, where people struggle to lay their hands on a bag of rice, that is our real life. That's left for the Nigerian people to accept or not to accept as we approach 2027, to vote and defend their vote. That's the only solution to the present economic quagmire that we have, in which there is no hope under the present APC administration or future APC administration. Nigeria needs a radical change. A new Nigeria is still possible. That's what I think. What do you think? Let's hear from you at the comment section. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, God will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.